I'm gonna try and dissect Cultist Simulator, because I want to make a game similar to it. And at the moment, I'm still confused on what the fuck is going on, so I'm just gonna try and learn it now. See all the ins and outs for it.
You'll note if you tap the card like this, it'll describe what it is. Now, one of the things you're going to have to learn about this game is that these cards...
So there's an action I can take, and there's a card I can put into the action. So let's start with that. I'll make this fucking blue. Here we go. I'm gonna call it action. I'm gonna call it action 1. So in action 1, I can put a HSA card. I'm just gonna call it a card for now. Call it a green card. Green card. What is this?
Cards are important. These tell you the aspects of what they do, and
this game is super confusing.
Game is set up so you do not learn anything except by experience, which is why you're going to crash and burn 6 or 7 times before you start getting the game. But this tells me that it's a job, therefore it links to this.
Okay. So this is a good point. So there is indications on these cards on which actions they combine with. Okay, I get that. Because if you press on that, it will actually light up.
Which is work, earn a living, or practice the invisible arts. In other words, work is kind of an interesting concept because the gameplay...
Okay, no. Just we're trying to do it mechanically right now. So there is an action, and there's a card, and the card connects to this action. Here we go. These two are connected. I'm gonna call this, I suppose, mental employment. Blah blah blah. Something work. Okay, so I'm gonna call this a positive card. Positive card. Okay, here we go. I'll make it a little smaller. I have a positive card which links to this action. Actually, does this make sense if I do it this way? Okay, let's just go.
Plays with language. Work is, of course, employment, such as the menial employment as a hospital porter or on any other menial job. You are job. So the only thing you can do with your life is work.
Yes. So this is, as I said, you take the card, you put it into the action. It is a positive card because it does something positive towards the game flow. That's the way I see it.
Work. Another shift. Another shift mopping the darkened floors, delving post to hollow.
I get it. But this is timed, right?
And crash and burn.
Yes, it's timed. So action is timed. Okay. So you put this in there. This is timed. This positive card is untimed.
But after the 10-second cycle is over...
Actually, I suppose it's just the time the action takes, so it doesn't actually matter too much.
You pause. Always pause whenever one of these things happens, because it's the only way you're going to catch things.
So here we go. There's 2 things that happen right now. The positive card made an action. We put it in the action. The action create... What the fuck? The action created another action. Action 2. I assume this will also be timed, yes. And it also additionally created...
Halfway through your shift zone over against you, if you notice, they're also not running along the way. In other words, they'll eject a little same job zone. Work is... I just notice over here. Notice how your mind is pretty much... I have 1 health. A little time to rest and my health improves. Dream is unlocked. Okay.
Okay. So he just collected it by pressing the button. So you can press the button and it gave you health and funds, which are... I was gonna call them positive cards, but they're not actually positive. They are positive cards, but there's something else. They're also like, you have to the bottom, you see that like resources. Those are your resources, whatever they just are. So this gave you a resource card. Source card. I suppose all of those will be cards, so it doesn't actually matter. And so this action gave me a resource. Here we go, and the resource is yellow.
We now have 1 health. This represents the condition of your body. Now, right now, your mind is pretty much asleep. You can organize your cards any way you like to, but I kind of like to have them over here in little certain spots where I can keep track of them. Know about do I put here. Notice the card glows there.
Yes, so this is what I meant when you like sort of put it. you can click on the empty space and it will light up, which is super. This is the only way I've been playing the game because I read nothing. I just went in and just clicked it around it, and it felt super good still. This was sort of the first run. The next runs I did it a little bit. Obviously started reading and shit. But in the beginning I was just clicking around.
Which means I can put the help in the work card. But it also goes over here, which shows I can put an ability.
Look at this. Look at this. This is slot work. The slot work says what the things you can. So obviously in the detection cards you can put all of these types of cards.
A benefactor, a desire, a ritual, right, aka ritual, or a job, and that this is scholarship. This allows me to increase reason further. What that means with a little X besides it is I cannot use this to improve reason. Work is to mean is.
Okay, that doesn't matter to me now. So these are not only timed, but they are also dependent, limited. P cards. I'm gonna call P cards positive cards. Yeah. So they're just it's timed, but it's also limited pos cards. So I can't put every single card into it.
It's a meaningless cycle of the same jobs over and over again, so you cannot learn. Now, the reason that's important is that sometimes when you do things, you will learn something along the way. In other words, they'll eject a little section that will give you an extra card. This cannot happen with work because, like I said before, work is menial. Now, the only thing we have to do is funds, which obviously do not glow. And I can move that. Sorry about that. Of your pay, which in 1920s London might be like 6 farthings. I have no idea. 67 inflation and another crackle. And now, once again, you start that. You have a 67, which in 1920s London might be like 6 farthings. Start this, while at the same time your dreams change. Once again, I dream of a glow beneath the filthy skin of the world. The light to the regular card game. Use fast of it, no effects though.
Okay, so you can see that this action, the second one, is automatic. Even though it's timed, it's still automatic. So it does automatic, and then once it does, it poops out another action. Which I assume is going to be also automatic. So pooped out action 3.
They can get a bit annoying. Hang on. Sound volume, 10%. Resume. Okay, that's a little too much. Okay, sound here. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, we now have another option. Dream. Recall my dreams. It began when I spoke to an old man in the hospital who knew my name. He's dead now, the pneumonia. Why do I dream of him still? Why is the cobalt light in my dreams? Cobalt's dark blue, by the way. Night time is now passing. Now what that means is before we didn't have a cycle of time. In other words...
What did you get? The fuck are those two? Great, thank you for the... Let's not be that guy. Okay. Contentment and passion. Don't know.
You'll want to note shortly that a cycle will start and every 60 seconds it will consume 1 fund. And this is going to be your bugger. You need to have funds. Otherwise you can't live. So the acquisition of funds becomes one of the first minor goals.
Okay, whatever you're talking about right now. So what I'm seeing is it gives me 2 cards again. I'm going to call it card. Give me another card. And I don't know what these cards are at the moment. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'll make them unanimous cards for now. Boop. Let's make it the other way around. Boop. 2 cards. So it gave me 2 cards, and it gave me that action.
The game. But at a certain point, you can use... got nothing. Can dream of funds, which is strange. Which means you purchase a tincture of opium. In the stressful crisis, I might visit a discreet pharmacist to purchase a tincture of opium and make my dream sweet. Now, that's opium. I kind of sometimes say you're just getting trashed at the bars. Whatever it is, you're below 2 weeks of funds, and you get something in return, but we'll get to that later. Contentment.
Look at this. This card is timed. So this card is timed.
Happy, I think. Contentment defends against dread, but contentment doesn't last. Now, here's an interesting thing. Contentment is commonly used just to defend against dread. In other words, when you get a dread card, which is you losing yourself to despair, you need to use a commitment card, a containment card, or something similar to be able to compensate it.
Okay, so it's a positive card. Call it positive card, which is timed. So we'll make it green because it's a positive card. It defends you against some shit. Got it.
But it also isn't what's called an influence. Now, it's an echo, resonance, or alignment. It's a type of energy, and its energy aligns to Lantern. Life is a pure flame lived by an invisible fun. Lantern is the principle of the secret place some calls the House of Sun. Now, this is where the game gets interesting.
Fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, imagine you playing this for the first time. You're just there, like, what the fuck is going on? As a matter of fact, can I make this camera actually lower? Probably can. There we go. So I'm not at the bottom of it.
Even the mundane things of this world, put that back up, have magical resonance and can be used for magic rites or other purposes. You notice that also it has the aspect of heart. The heart relents its beat to protect the skin against the world we understand. It's a principle that continues and preserves, and that becomes important later on. The moment, it's just an influence that we have in case we happen to get a dread card. It will only last, as you can see, 59.6 seconds.
Okay, so it is a positive card. It is a time card. And I assume dread makes you lose the game. Right, so I know the dread makes you. I haven't lost that actually to dread yet, but I think if you get enough dread, you lose the game. So it's not only a positive card, it's also a positive timed card. Do we call it a anti-lose condition card? Which is actually pretty important. Oh, motherfucker. Here we go. Okay.
Seconds when I start time again. Passion, on the other hand, is one of our permanent qualities. You'll notice we started...
shit, it's a resource. Here we go. Passion is that is a resource card which we have received. Resource card. Resource. Doesn't matter, it's obviously a card. So this would be a resource. So you got another resource. It doesn't matter what it is. This is an anti-lose condition card. It's not just a positive card. It's a specific anti-lose condition card. I want to make it a different shade of green.
Put it down here. Seeing it down here.
So what I'm trying to say is now, so you can see how it's working, right? This is how I'm trying to deconstruct this. So there was one card, just whatever it was a positive card, which I called it positive card because it did nothing negative to me. That's why it's a positive card. But it's also not a resource. So that's why I mean a positive card. Put that into first action. Did it at a time. I can't put everything into first action time. It's just limited to whatever the fuck he said it was earlier there. And it pooped out a resource. It put actually out 2 resources. But it's not really the point. It's about the fact it's resources. Because it gave me like the yellow money thing and the red health thing. Right? So then it also pooped out another action. Now the second action started itself, it was automatic, and then went into, gave me a anti-lose condition card, and it gave me a resource.
Minds are either intuitive or mathematical. It is an ability, brain or heart or eye or mind. Most of us are born with them, and it also has the resonance of moth. I knew a man.
Like, what the fuck is this? Right? Look at this. How are you meant to fucking understand anything?
It down here. Dull minds are either intuitive or mathematical.
I love it, but fuck.
Is an ability.
Look, it is an aspect of ability.
Brain or heart or eye or mind. Most of us are born with them, and it also has the resonance of.
And it's fucking moth. Where's the connection?
Moth. I knew a man who captured moth in a bell jar. On nights like this, he released them one by one to die in the candle. Moth is the wild and perilous principle of chaos and yearning, and it is an ingredient which can be consumed as a.
Again, I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying it's it's confusing. I know it's meant to be like that. It's still confusing.
Fuel, ointment, pigment, or patience. But this is also your soul. So you got like a billion other ingredients you want to use before this stuff. But you'll notice that we can dream with passion.
Obviously, right? You obviously can dream with passion.
What will that do? The moonlit road. And in this dream, the road creates a hilltop. And at the graphic, by the way, you look, you can't see it. Lore. If I engage in occult practice before... nice graphic. Where is silver bright? You look, you can't see it. Lore. If I engage in occult practice before I sleep, I might find the way to deeper dreams, such as the woods, but we'll get to that later. In the meantime, what it wants is knowledge of invisible arts. We have none at this time.
Okay,
Meantime,
so
deeper
this is
dream.
really
You
important
look,
now.
you can't see it. Something called
Why do I keep
lore.
skipping
And
the
if you
important
look,
things?
the hilltop and at the air is silver bright.
Okay, so you can put a resource. The one you got, you can also put back into it. That is important information. Right? And
But it wants something called lore. And if you look,
why does it want to call it something?
it's a hilltop and at the air is silver bright. But it wants something called lore. And if you look, nice graphic by the way. You look, you can't see it. Lore. If I engage in occult practice before I sleep, I might find the way to deeper dreams, such as the woods, but we'll get to that later. In the meantime, what it wants is knowledge of invisible arts. We have none at this time. So
okay, so it also gives me the option of a second additional I don't know how to spell additional. Additional. Is that correct? Yeah, I did. Additional P card. Okay. Slot opens. Can I make all of this bigger at the same time? No. Yes. No, it's just me zooming, right? Oh, never mind. Okay. No. Whatever. It's for me anyways. So yeah, we have this here now, which gives, so you do the first action, gives you a resource, poops out the second action. The second action is timed, because automatically poops out a resource, poops out an anti-condition card, which is timed. You can take the resource, put it back in, and then have another additional slot for another P card. All right, here we go.
all we're going to do is a mundane dream at the moment.
Okay.
Meanwhile, under this, a change in the air. I need funds to live. Perhaps this recent upset in my circumstances is a secret blessing. There is something to my dreams. I feel a change in the air. Lovecraftian universes, that's usually a bad sign. But again, I'll fast forward us. You notice when it has a slot open here, it wants me to insert something, but you'll notice we don't have anything to insert at the moment, so we're going to have to let it go empty. You don't always want to fill these slots, by the way. Sometimes that can be bad. Right. This is your biggest problem. Time passes. Time, the sundial shadow passes. I must have funds to live or I will become ill. You don't have any money.
Here we go. So now I actually don't remember where did time just come from? Did we see that?
These slots, by the way. Sometimes that can be bad.
Okay. So eventually, after some time, this is really important. After some time, action 1 will poop out what I call the lose condition. Right? So the way it works is if there's no funds in there, game over. Something like that.
Right. This is your biggest problem. Time passes. Time, the sundial shadow passes. I must have funds to live or I will become ill. You don't have any money. You get kicked out of your apartment. You get killed. And you die of exposure in the streets. But unskilled labor, thy day is done, and so am I, but I've earned my pay. Now, you've got health, but you're now fatigued. I can't use it again until it resets.
Okay. Wait, just everybody chill out, everyone. So, here we go. We have lose condition. This kicked out lose condition. This lose condition is automatic magnet resource. Right? So this thing grabs the resource. How do I make it a grab? Can I change this into a grab? Is there a type thingy where I can basically grab? Yeah, this looks like a grab. Right? This grabs it automatically, the resource. And if it's failed, it will give you the game over. Yeah. Game over. So the lose condition, if completed, or like if that's whatever the lose condition is, if it's like if the lose condition is happening, you get the game over. That's the way I see it.
57.7 seconds. Vitality, on the other hand, is a new card. Exercise or something rare has invigorated me. Use with another vitality to improve your abilities. It lasts only 3 minutes. So, if I get another aspect heart, notice, aspect advancement, tasty what you may be, with enough of these cards you can grow an ability. And again, another influence. It can be used for certain aspects. Now, I usually just set it up so I have the temporary cards on the left where there'd be regular health here plus the fatigue. Now, what we want to do is we want to have vitality, 2 vitality together before this one decays. So let's see if we can get that done. Change in the air. And right.
Okay. So action 1 has actually created now something which I'm probably gonna call timed resources. Can I give them another name? Actually, I'm gonna call it a puzzle. Puzzle piece.
Right now, I have no
because I need 2 of those vitalities to make something happen.
card I can put into work, so it remains idle. It's not always bad to have idle in your cards, but now we've only got 2 funds left. As you notice, this one just sucked it up. We are currently still, of course, doing fast forward. Not my favorite, but you probably don't have my patience. And as you can see, the time elapses and the card of the contentment disintegrates. Now, boom. Sometimes it's fun, though, by the way. Dreams of doors. This is what your character's doing. Tonight is a dream of the labyrinth of doors, which results in something. Restlessness. I dreamed of opening doors, red doors and gold glass, and doors bound like books, and rail cars doors and castle gates. Behind one was something I seek. I awoke with the slamming of doors still in my ears. Now restlessness, my old friend. It's one of your problems. You can see that it's got a countdown, but when it does count down to 0, you get a dread card. We're gonna get plenty of dread cards in the...
Okay. Like, look, you know how this is like a beginner guide and you're trying to sort of understand what the hell is going on? It's still like, it's so convoluting. So many fucking things are happening. You don't understand anything. Anyways, this thing created a puzzle piece card, which is also timed. I'm gonna make it purple. Timed. And I'm gonna call it a stats resource. Is that resource? Yeah. It's a puzzle piece card. So theoretically I need to do whatever I did here in action 1 to create another one to then whatever I have to do with the 2 puzzle pieces. Right? Yeah. So also, where did the other thing just come from? This came from the dream. So action 2, with its kindness, has actually given me a loose resource. Right? Is that how we're gonna call it? If this is the loose condition, this gives me a negative, that's what I'm gonna call it, negative card. Yeah, if these are positive cards, these are negative cards. Card. It gave me a negative card. a little bit lighter. Yep. Which will probably not to here. There's another loose condition somewhere, but it gave me a negative card.
Gold doors and gold glass and doors bound like books and rail cars doors and castle gates. Behind one was something I seek. I awoke with the slamming of doors still in my ears. Now restlessness, my old friend. It's one of your problems. You can see that it's got a countdown, but when it does count down to 0, you get a dread card. We're gonna get plenty of dread cards in the beginning, so we'll see this. 59.1, 59.1. It's not gonna help, unfortunately. There's a way to get rid of restlessness, but we're not gonna have time to do it, unfortunately. But in 9.1 seconds, as you can see here, a letter from a solicitor. The old now. We're not going to have time to do it, unfortunately, but
come on.
In 9.1 seconds,
come on,
as you can see here, a letter from a solicitor. The old man at the hospital, the one I dreamed of. Remember that? See, if you don't pay attention to these things, you're going to miss what's happening in the plot.
Like he's saying like it's so easy to keep attention. It's not. It's really difficult. But here we are. Trying to, I think we're already further ahead than we ever been.
Me his will. I'll hear more soon. Okay. All right. Now, health has regenerated, which means
doesn't matter. It's a resource card, but this resource card was. Where did these two things come from again? This is an anti-loose condition. This was a resource. This gave me normal resource. It also gave me resource exhausted after time duration timed. Anyways, it gave me an exhausted resource. But still a resource, which becomes then a resource afterwards. It's exhausted first and then it's timed. But also, it gave me this puzzle piece. Here we are.
Means that we can, in theory, take this card, put it here, and get another vitality in order to be able to study both vitalities to get another health, which is exactly what I want, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Bequest. The old man has...
Look, he's 12 minutes into this video. He's stressing, and I can tell him just stressing, because it is stressful. But anyways, so you take the resource, you put it back, right? And then it poops out another puzzle piece, basically.
Request a sum of money and a packet of particular papers, poetry, riddles, metaphysical speculations. For the first time in months, here is the fuel for my reason. Now you notice he gives you 9 funds. The bequest, which is a package of papers, procure their papers from my correspondence executor. God, we're gonna call him Harvey Warren. And if you've heard the story I did, you know why. I must study it either using passion or reason. And reason. Boom. No live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. Shirley Jackson, Haunting Hill House, which is a really good story, by the way. If you've seen the series, it's really got nothing to do with it. Now,
okay. Like, I don't know what you're talking about right now, but this gave me an eye open, which is a reason card. What did it give me? It gave me money. Action 3 gave me another resource. Did it give me like
package of papers, procure here and get another vitality in order to be able to study both vitalities to get another health, which is exactly what I want, because if you don't have your health,
so it actually did give me 9.
You don't have anything. Bequest. The old man has bequeathed a sum of money and a packet of particular papers, poetry, riddles, metaphysical speculations. For the first time in months, here is the fuel for my reason. Now you notice he gives you 9 funds. The bequest, which is a package of papers, procure their papers from my correspondence.
Okay.
It's correspondence executor. God, we're gonna call him Harvey Warren. Then if you've heard the story I did, you know I will be jumping and skipping at particular points in order.
Okay. So it gave us. Oops. It gave us resource. Let's be clear. Let's be super clear. Right, so this gave us resource. Oh. Whatever. This gave us resource. But it gives us resource times 9. And then it gave us another resource. Don't know what the resource is. So money, I'm actually gonna call resource HP. That what gave me HP? Where did I get money from? I think it was from work. I definitely get from here. I definitely get from here resource money as well. Okay. I think money is like an important resource to explain. Resource exhausted. HP. Resource money. This gave me resource XYZ. Doesn't matter right now actually. Resource X, this gave me resource money times 9. And this also gave me resource X. It's for my head. If you don't understand it, it's just what it is.
To show you some of the strategies to advance yourself in the game. I'm not going to show you the entirety of the game, but I'm going to get you started because eventually the autumn and winter sales for Steam will come up, and game will be much more affordable. And, yeah, memory. This is actually important for one of the DLC quests, by the way. And of course, influence. But you notice there's something else about restlessness: heart, grail, forge, which is the fire once red is the winter that warms and spring that consumes. It's a principle forge that transforms into skaze, and grail. Hunger, lust, and the drowning waters. The principle of grail honors both live beast, the birth and the feast, life and death, the womb and the tomb. Anyways, so what do we do now? Now, remember, if you really want to ask yourself, boom, it tells you can study restlessness, the bequest, the vitality, or the reason. If you do the vitality, you'll notice that it wants another vitality, which is why I'm generating another one.
Okay. So wait. So this timed, where's the timed resource? Where did I get the timed resource from again? I think it was from here. Here we go. No wait, this was an anti-lose condition card. This was the exhausted HP card. This is the resource money card. Where did I get the vitality one from? It doesn't matter actually. Where I get it from, I'm gonna call it from here. Did I get it from Dream because I resource Dream? I may actually have. Where did I get? Okay, let me find it. I need to find where he got the exhausted vitality from. Here we go. Yes.
You don't have any money, you get kicked out of your vitality on their hand as a new card. It again until it resets. I've earned my pay. Now,
Okay, so he did get it from work. Okay, so we actually also get here. This is the puzzle piece. Never mind, of course. So we have the puzzle piece. And we probably need 2 of those. And both of those. Yeah, I got a puzzle piece. right? Just want to make it clear that we need to get those two. And then both will come here. Right? And they will poop out. They will poop out. Puzzle piece. Puzzle cards result. HP. Right?
In the game. I'm not going to show you the entirety of the game, but I'm going to get you started because eventually the autumn and winter sales for Steam will come up, and this game will be much more affordable. Grail. Hunger, lust, and the drowning waters. The principle of Grail. Oh, disappearing? Oh, I've exhausted, but what I can do is reason. Read whatever's to hand. The world is awash with printed words. Even the newspapers contain knowledge sometimes. Basically, you decide to go out and learn some stuff. Money.
All right. So this open slot, as I can see, there's no open slot there
Disappearing?
right now. Or maybe.
And as you can see, we are getting to the point where restlessness can be an issue. But we have no ability to remove it now, or do we? Because, boom, the tincture of opium has a purpose to it. 30-second counter. I mean, why would you get opium? Now, notice dread. I've seen too much. A nameless gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes, my existential horror. Standard for Lovecraftian protagonist. Despair induces despair, which can kill you. Literally. Influence, echo resonance. It's an influence. And what's this? Edge. All conquest occurs at the edge. Another who dwells there is blind and cannot be wounded. Another is strong and grows stronger. It's a principle of battle and struggle. You're struggling against that. But it'll become important later, and boom, 3 dread of it. Bleak thoughts. Dark days, I must be careful not to let darks creep in. Dread can produce despair. 3 dread kills you. Boom, the game is over, you restart, because there's no save in that way. But contentment is what counters dread, if you recall. Yeah. How does it do that? Well, watch and learn. Erudition. Erudian? I don't know. I soak up knowledge as shadows soak up certain influence, remember? And can be used for advancement. Like I said, this shit is how you win the game. That's how I managed to figure out a lot of it. Yeah. Funds, fatigued health, and vitality. Now, the first thing we want to do right now, take this vitality, put it under study, put that one in. Exercise the body. I am alarmed with vitality. If I devote some time to exercise, I have wounded health. This is why getting a second health is important, as we can switch them out. Now, remember, we know what we can put here. Passion or reason. Now, what does passion give us for work? Paint. I used to paint. I could paint some sights I half remember from my dreams. Oh, here's the question. Where do you go from here? We cannot let the funds just spill outwards. Do we go with the clerk, which of course has its own issues, or do we try to increase our passion and make ourselves a better painter? Now, we have 9 funds, but this can disappear quickly. Every minute goes by, we lose 1 fund. So, the safe path is the clerical one. Now, there's a lot of issues with this, in that it will literally drain the fucking soul out of you, just like real work. Right now, to take the safe route is probably the smarter option. By the way, whatever you put into here is recorded. Every attribute that's in reason is here. 2 lantern, 1 ingredient, and 1 ability. So, we're going to go looking for clerical work. And you notice a little graphic of desk job, which is what we're condemning ourselves to. And it is condemning, trust me on that. Now, here's another thing. Wow, why is the health glowing? Health fatigued. Nap to recover from fatigue. Duh. You can easily snap your health back together.
Okay. So what I got out of that is, I kind of lost halfway to my net. We can have this. So this is not really necessarily. And this is for the resource money. And yes. So you can have the exhausted also put in here to not be less exhausted. I get that. not really that important right now.
If you have the dream slot open. Okay. Now, apparently there's an easy to find a job, at least. Okay, so notice this little bar right here is where all cards go to if you click on the collect, if they don't already have a spot. Most cards will go back to where they started from. This one, on the other hand, is new. Junior position at Glover and Glover. My intellect should be put to better use, but the pay is better than the laborer's work.
So what happened to my old job? I actually don't understand. 1 second. So I need to go back again. I had a job here.
I mean, why would you get opium? Now, notice dread.
Okay, I forgot about that. I still need to put that in. So you got the negative card. After the negative card timed, it created for us a second lose condition. It created for us a second lose condition. This is really important because we need, right? It's automatic.
I've seen too much, a nameless gnawing fear, but contentment, and essentially you're just starting out doing finger painting. But reason can also be put there. Find clerical work. Find work which will spare my body,
Okay, wait
if you
1 second.
recall. How does it do that?
Do we not
Well,
have
watch
a
and
job?
learn.
Do we not have a job?
Erudition. Erudition? I don't know. I soak up knowledge as shadows soak up light. I may be regenerated. But again, health, but you're now fatigued, which means I can't use it again until it resets after 57.7 seconds.
Okay, so I did use it before. What did I use the health on? On the work. Unskilled labor. Backbreaking, okay.
Another currency whatsoever. It's a regular card game if you are paying attention. He's dead now, the pneumonia. Why do I dream of him?
Okay.
Purchase a tincture of opium, make my dream.
Okay.
It's also your soul, so upset in my circumstances,
Okay. So you pooped
which
out the
results
health,
in.
and my job was over, right? Yeah, here we go.
You don't always want to fill these slots, by the way. Sometimes that can be bad. Right. This is your biggest problem. Time passes. Time, the sundial shadow passes. I must have funds to live or I will become ill. You don't have any money, you get kicked out of your apartment, you get killed. And you die of exposure in the streets. But unskilled labor, that day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. Now, you've got health, but you're now fatigued, which means I can't use it again.
Okay. So this made me this, right? But if I used resource X, it would have given me a story beat.
Until it resets card, you can grow an ability. And again, another influence. You can be.
Yeah, okay, let's go back. Let's go up front to here we go.
Now we can't work with a wounded health. This is why getting a second health is important, as we can switch them out. Now, remember, we know what we can put here. Passion or reason. Now, what does passion give us for work?
Okay.
Paint.
Okay, so we have 2 resources here, right? It's still a resource. Not a positive card, it's still a resource. We're still playing with resources, primarily. Because I'm constantly doing these things. And I can put resource X into A1. I can also put, fuck it, just give me resource Y for now. Don't know where it came from, but it just came from somewhere. I can also put resource Y into A1. This is the color green. And this is the color green. Okay, I can put these 2 into A1. Make it like this. Just to know it's actually just in my head right now, because it's technically here, but it's too many arrows going back and forth. Yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, of course you can put resources in them. Right, so now, but this is now again black. you can put resources in here as well. So what I gotten from this point right now is that when I put health into here, into work, action 1, it just pooped out another health and stuff. It didn't actually change the job. So that work action didn't change. Now, if I put in paint or reason, it might actually change. So this is what he showed me.
I used to paint. I could paint some sites I half
Right.
remember from my dreams. I might sell something. It probably won't. This is because you're losing
So this is like the paint, right? So if I use one of them, it has like a chance of doing
a
something.
bottom level passion. Passion is a level 1 skill. And essentially you're just starting out doing finger painting. But reason can also be put there. Find clerical work. Find work which will spare my body, if not my mind. Now, here's the question. Where do you go from here? Do we...
Okay, this is great. Because this creates a moment where something changes. Right? You know, actually, I didn't even notice that in the middle I'm playing the game. So at this stage, I can change A1, action 1. Or I can get like a different result from it by using different resources. And the different levels of the resources as well, right? If I was a better painter, or if I had more passion, if I had more of reason, yeah, A1 depends on stats. I want to call them stats, I want to call them resource. Source. Depends on the resource you choose. Depends on the resource chosen. Result depends on resource chosen. Yeah. Result depends on resource chosen. This is really important. And stats slash sources. I don't know if I'm going to call them stats or resources at the moment I'm here. And it is what it is. Don't have a better name to it. But I think this is a really important thing because it kind of gives you a story beat of something changes. Right? So you actually have a decision tree. So like this moment right here is like real decision which need to be made. Everything here is kind of manual and you kind of have to do, and what you do, you need to do, kind of pressing and pressing, and it doesn't actually change anything. But this is a real decision which you need to make right now. And it kind of paths away the story. This is when I call it a story beat. I actually don't know what a story beat is. But, I suppose this is sort of a little bit of a, again, I'm an amateur. I don't fucking know what any of this is, but I'm just going to guess now. And my guess is this is important. Decision. I'm going to call it a meaningful decision. Right? I don't know what am I doing here. Why did I do this? How do I remove this? Wait. This. Let's give this a color. Let's make it orange. And let's give it a fucking arrow. This is a meaningful decision. Okay.
We cannot let the funds just spill outwards. Do we go with the clerk, which of course has its own issues, or do we try to increase our passion and make ourselves a better painter? Now, we have 9 funds, but this can disappear quickly. Every minute goes by, we lose 1 fund. So, the safe path is the clerical one. Now, there's a lot of issues with this.
So 2 paths. Path 1. Oh, wait. Give it get another error. Oh, what the fuck? Right. This stage, action 1 has changed. I might be able to remove 2 operators, but it's still action 1, it still work, right? But it's just not necessarily change, it's just action 1 will create a change. And what I want from this is it can, right? So this can be a risk, risky result, and this will be safe result. Result. Call this resource X, and this is resource Y. This is really good because it's a meaningful decision. I need a fucking second thing. Here we go.
This in that it will.
Let's give it another color. And I think it's a positive card, so that's why I want to make it green. Right, yeah.
It will literally drain the. So, we're going to go looking for clerical work, and you notice a little graphic of desk job, which is what we're condemning ourselves to. And it is condemning, trust me on that. Now, here's another thing. Wow, why is the health glowing? Health fatigued. Nap to recover from fatigue. Duh. You can easily snap your health back together if you have the dream slot open. Okay. Now, apparently there's an easy to find a job, at least. Okay, so.
Okay. So the safe place, safe result. I don't actually know. I'm running out of colors here. God, light blue. This one light blue. And this safe result gave me back resource X. Come on. So this gave me back resource X, and what else did it give me? It gave me something. It gave me a positive card, right? Yep. Yeah, it also gave me a positive card.
Oh, notice this little bar right here is where all cards go to if you click on the collect, if they don't already have a spot. Most cards will go back to where they started from. This one, on the other hand, is new. Junior position at Glover & Glover. My intellect should be put to better use, but the pay is better than laborer's work. If you don't attend the job regularly, you might suffer demotion. It means in 88.5 seconds, if I don't use this card to go work, the scratching of pens, the sourness of the dust, the sighing of young Glover, the greedy gurgling of the elder. In other words, it's a family-owned position in which advancing is a little difficult, but diligence. Now, diligence means this, I can put in some extra effort and hope to get a promotion.
Okay.
Now the question is, do I want to?
So the positive card can be again used in the resources and into the A11. This will result Yep. So positive card.
I do that. Now you'll note that let's
Do I need
run
to put in
without
a...
doing diligence once, and then I'll run with diligence to show the difference. Now remember I said you don't have to fill these slots. Sometimes it means you fail, sometimes it means you will fail if you fill it, and sometimes it just changes the results. Now you'll notice that it only took 30 seconds of game time to get the health back, so I'm recharged. So I could have chosen to keep up with the laborer's position. There's some merit to that, but the low amount of pay means that you're always on the edge. Now, Dream, I'm not going to do. We got the Dread card from it, basically. We don't want to go any further than that. So we're going to leave that empty for now. Yes, the bequest is still up there. It looked for the contentment card and sucked it up. And now is the time to renew our connection.
Yeah.
In other words, you can have a lover, but you don't want to have notoriety when you're doing it. Notoriety is a card you'll be playing with a lot. Now, you'll notice that when the despair reset, it looked for the contentment card and sucked it up. Drammed it in, so this contentment card, you see, you can defeat despair by feeding it contentment, otherwise it'll destroy you when it reaches 3 dread. So long as there's at least 1 dread in there, that card, the despair will keep cycling, waiting for new dread. And you get the 3 dread, you destroy yourself. And again, you notice it keeps the counter of everything here. But we have a contentment because basically I got stoned.
This is really important. We have this losing condition. And this losing condition has stages. So this is lose condition, stage 1. Then it has stage... Oh, you fuckface. Stage 2. Stage 2. For that it needs another negative card. And then it goes to stage 3. Which also needs another negative card. And then from here it goes to the game over. Just gonna put it here a little bit. Probably gonna need it more. So it just does the game over because it reaches stage 3 and stage 3 is completed. You can fix it if it runs into nothingness. So I'm gonna make a big arrow. Here we go, like that arrow. Like this. Some text in there. Fixable. Right? Fixable. Bold. So this is fixable. You can go back down to nothingness. So this is fixable. This is not fixable because it will forever not fixable. I'm gonna make a note. I'll put some text here. Yeah. Let's call it not fixable. Yeah. Here we go. Like this. This is not fixable. I don't like what the arrow is showing. Here we go. This is not fixable. This is fixable. This is good. Okay. Continue.
And we also got another one, so I could have saved my money, but you cannot rely on random draws. Exercise the body. I've grown stronger. There's at least one dread in there. That card, the despair will keep cycling with contentment card. I don't want to. Times it. So notice the gurgle is the result card from it. I don't want.
Did you see the rose?
But we have a contentment because basically I got.
Wow, where's this
stoned.
coming from?
Counter of everything here, but we have contentment. Otherwise, it'll destroy.
Someone
It looked
explain to me
for.
where this came from?
Do we got the dread card from it?
Alright.
Basically, we don't want to go any further than that. So we're going to leave that empty for now. Yes, the bequest is still up there.
Did just that lose condition?
So we zip in.
Theist and interludes. If you have a particular friend, now's the time to renew the connection. Okay. So our lose condition just summoned something. Very interesting. Oh. It just summoned another action. Actually, for the matter of fact. Action. Action. Random. Temp. It's a temporary action. Temporary action. Random event. Even though I like that arrow, it's just not the correct one. Just have another arrow. There we go. There we go. So this is summon a random event.
Tristan interludes. If I have a particular friend, now is the time to renew our connection. In other words, you can have a lover, but you don't want to have notoriety when you're doing it. Notoriety is a card you'll be playing with a lot. Now, you'll notice that when the despair reset, it looked for the contentment card and sucked it up, drained it in. So this contentment card, you see, you can defeat despair by feeding it contentment. Otherwise, it'll destroy you when it reaches 3 dread. So long as there's at least 1 dread in there.
I never read this, but this is where I got to basically in the end. This is how I lost.
That card, the despair will keep cycling, waiting for new dread. And either 3 dread, you destroy yourself. And again, you notice it keeps the counter of everything here. But we have a contentment because basically I got stoned. And we also got another one, so I could have saved my money.
That random event didn't need input. Timed. Gave me a random positive card. Some help by the game, probably. It's probably like a crutch. It's meant to help. Give me a positive card. Like it.
Money, but you cannot rely on random draws. Exercise the body. I've grown stronger. I've gained health. It'll be more difficult to get health next time. Stronger physique. Losing the benefit from exercise. Use with 2 lesson learns to gain more health. 2 what? Well, you'll find out. Now I have 2 health, which marks down here. But, of course, question is, what now? Now, I noted that I did not take the route of passion for Liber, for getting money. It's the hardest one to do, but I did take the one of reason. Now, one of the problems I'm going to have with reason is that this job over here is going to suck at least 1 of it constantly. So what we want to do is take the erudition and give myself additional reason. Boom. Now, and we have no need yet to go back to dreaming. Boom. Now, here's the thing. We did all that, and we got 1 fund. Now, the problem being is that it took us, if you recall, 90 seconds to do that. So it means that we are literally going to starve to death if we stay only at that level of position. So right now, I cannot do anything about it. But what I can do is upgrade my unskilled labor. I've now increased my physique so I can actually work harder. Notice that this card will go out in 88 seconds, but this card now requires 55 instead of 60, which means we're slowly beating the clock here. So at the moment, labor is actually better. As a deer in England's probably a better political party in your current situation. Okay, so
it gives me the. So it doesn't actually change. So it didn't change A1. I made a mistake. Oh, but I didn't say it changes here, so this is okay. Result depends on the resource you've chosen, okay? Which can give you a positive card, which can also be a job. New job, for example. And you can use that new job to do the new job, but you can also work other things. Obviously, if the A1 is work, if this is work, you can work anything. And you can work any combination of things to get any combination of things out of it, I suppose. Risk results, safe results, normal results. You can also improve jobs, right? Because you can, for example, put somewhere, I don't remember where did I get the health, the skill from? Let's have a look. Skill came from study, right? So this actually created positive cards. Do you see how it kind of puts you on the back foot, but then you work your way back, right? Positive cards. Positive cards. Actually, I'm gonna, because this is a puzzle piece timed. Actually, it's a positive. It's a positive card timed. And this is a positive card. Card timed. Oh, it's just positive. Right? This is positive. And this is shit. This is positive and I need to make a plus. Can I make a plus? I just need a plus. Plus. Oh my god. Plus. No, I don't want to upgrade. There is no plus in here. There it is. Great. Thank you. Let's make this black. Whoop. And you basically want to plus those two. To then, right? Is my wife writing me? I make a picture for my wife. I need, like, you can skip for 2 minutes. I need 2 minutes. So don't charge. Just ask if everything's okay.
Let's get health next time. Stronger physique. Learn the benefit from exercise. Use with 2 lesson learns to gain more health. 2 what? Well, you'll find out. Now I have 2 health, which marks down here. You discover that sickness. I've become unwell. It takes 1 of your health and Moon, you're a clerk.
Anyways, doing yes.
Suck at least 1 of it constantly. So what we yourself, and again, you notice it keeps the counter of everything here. But we have a contentment. Dranned it in, so this contentment card, you see you can defeat despair by feeding it. And we also got physique. Learn the benefit from exercise. Use with 2 lesson learns to gain passion. For reason. Now at least 1 of it constantly. So what we want to do is take the erudition and give myself additional reason. Boom. What to do is gain this job over here is going to suck at least 1 of it constantly. So what we want to do is take the erudition. Job over here is going to suck at least 1 of it constantly. So what we want to do is take the.
I soak up knowledge as a shadow soaks up light. I may be chosen to advancement. Erudition can be used to study to gain reason. It lasts only 3 minutes if unused.
Erudition and give myself additional reason. Boom.
So you're not using erudition.
Yeah, and we have no need yet to go back to dreaming. Boom. Now, here's the thing. We did all that, and we got 1 fund. Now, the problem being is that it took us, if you recall, 90 seconds to do that. So it means that we are literally going to starve to death if we stay only at that level of position. So right now, I cannot do anything about it. But what I can do is upgrade my unskilled labor. I've now increased my physique so I can actually work harder. Notice that this card will go out in 88 seconds, but this card now requires 55 instead of 60, which means we're slowly beating the clock here. So at the moment, labor is...
Okay. So this has basically produced 2 positive cards. It has reduced 2 positive. It has created 2 positive cards. You can combine cards, and you're trying to beat the clock. Using meaningful decision. Say can. So I'll use this one basically. Which I'm gonna put in here. Can be a puzzle to beat time lose condition, i.e. if 90 sec for 1 money, you can work 1 job 30 sec, second job 60 sec. Need to find the combination of positive cards to make it happen. Okay. So this is for basically for here. I know what this is for. But when this is meaningful decision. To create the path, but it also makes this one. It also makes a little puzzle on where you're thinking, okay, what's the most optimal round? Optimization. Here we go.
Is actually better. As a deer in England is probably a better political party in your current situation. Okay, so, oh, good lord, 21 minutes in. Wow, time goes by. Anyways, let's basis the game here. You'll notice that, by the way, despair abates. Memories of the better times keep the wolf from the door. It's destroyed one dread. And now the dread's back down to Bates. Memories of the better... let's basis the game. 21 minutes in. Wow, time goes by.
What did it pull
Means
in?
we're
Did it pull in contentment?
right now is that we are... What? Well,
did it pull contentment? Or
we have the 3
despair?
dread. As long as there's at least 1 dread in there, the despair will keep cycling, waiting for new dread. And you get the 3 dread, you destroy yourself. And again, you notice it keeps the cards. You can have Tristan interludes, a dread card from it. Basically, we don't want to go any further than that. So we're going to leave that basically. You're always on the edge.
So I'm trying to figure out right now how the loose condition was beaten. The one of the despair.
Dream, I'm not going to do. We got the dread card from Hey means first. Pretty set. Fill it. The one with promote owned position of use this card in the job rate. Junior, they don't know. If you
further back.
Do my
further back.
What
the fuck is despair doing?
Against.
Here we go.
Just be careful not to let dark.
Despair has dread. All right. It does
creep
dread.
in. Dread can produce despair. 3 dread kills you. Boom. The game. Be careful not to let. It'll become important later, and boom, there you have it. Bleak thoughts. Dark days. I must be careful not to let darks creep in. Dread can produce despair. But contentment is what counters dread, if you recall.
Yeah.
How does it do that? Well, watch and learn.
Okay, show me.
Erudition. Erudition? I don't know. 3 minutes of shit is and vitality. That was it. Now
okay,
to paint. I could paint some.
This thing to go to the end. Here we had 41 seconds, 20. Oh, it's already too late. Okay, so dread will complete himself once.
So we zip in.
And it takes contentment. After it's taken the contentment.
Suck at least one of it. Constant history is a different timeline. Oh, good lord. 21 minutes in. Wow, time goes by. Anyways, let's basis the game here. You'll notice that, by the way, despair abates. Memories of the better times keep the wolf from the door. It's destroyed one dread. And now the dread's back down to 0. This means... Well, hang on. We'll get to that.
Okay. So, it sucks up automatically the solution. Here. Right? Each of those will pull basically the right? Oh shit. Yeah, we'll basically pull the they will all just pull the loose condition. Why does this have to be so complicated? Here we go. It just pulls the loose condition. They automatically pull the loose condition. And this one I'd like to do a bit differently. go. Whatever. I don't think this is the way you meant to do it. I'm not really good at this. First, necessarily not the first time doing it, but the first time I'm actually really caring about it. Here we go. This is better. So those will pull the loose condition out of it and then put themselves down. Right? So I don't need this big fuck off thing. They just pull the anti-loose condition and then reduce the stage. This condition card will reduce stage. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have a fleeting remembrance, which is another influence, mind you. It's a memory. It's a secret history. History is a scar on a world's skin, describing the unknown complexity of the world and its many paths. There's something you don't catch the first time around. Secret histories are alternate timelines. You are literally, if you play this game deep enough, going to discover that every secret history is a different timeline, and it's a big question which timeline you happen to be in. But again, I usually put my resources up here to see. Now, you don't have to use all your resources. Yep, think another erudition. Boom. Increase reason. I have picked up odd facts here and there. If I spend time studying what I've learned, I can increase my reason. Let's do it. We're going to need it for this job. Oh, the other job. Apparently, we are now moonlighting. We have two jobs. We're a clerk moonlighting as a laborer. God, this sounds too much like 2020. Two jobs just to get by. Now notice you have the fatigued health, which you've done before, the new vitality from the job, the skill comes back, and you have one fund. Now the question is, right now, since you have 32 seconds remaining, you're going to have to go back here and do the job, or you're going to lose it. This time around, we'll do diligence, extra effort, and see if it's observed.
Did I put this in here already? New job can be improved by with resource. My wife wrote me again. Yay! My son is, for the first time, sleeping without pampers today. My wife and him and her mother and friends. Big result. I'll let this run. So you don't have to listen to me to wait for me to continue this. I'm gonna re-skip it back probably afterwards though.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh yeah. Sometimes I'm even bad about that. Let's nap. It's only going to save me 3 seconds at this point. Should have been faster at that, but eventually you get into the rhythm of the game. You'll find a rhythm, you'll be able to keep it up, and then from that point, when you have a stable platform, you can advance. I hate this. Sickness. I've become unwell. It takes one of your health.
There we go. What happened? Where did it come from?
At this point, should have been faster at that, but eventually you get into the rhythm of the game. You'll find a rhythm, you'll be able to keep it up, and then from that point, when you have a stable...
Spawns another loose condition, I guess. Okay.
Platform you can advance. I hate this. Sickness. I've become unwell. It takes 1 of your health and 60 seconds later turns it into a affection. Now, you notice we have scholarship. I am flushed with clever quotations. So basically, you got your GED and you got your library card. That's what it is. And reason. We've kind of got 2 reason. One of them is currently floating in here and one of them's here. So now, what do I study? Well, notice the other option. Sometimes you do not have to just click this to see what glows. You can pick this up and anything that's acceptable to go will glow. Read sentimental literature. If I proposed to learn anything, I wouldn't be reading this stuff. In other words, poetry. There's nothing wrong with poetry, it just doesn't pay. And we don't want to activate the dream thing randomly. This is, after all, Lovecraftian universe. Ooh, here's where things get interesting. Yeah, you can zoom in if you want to read these things. Mr. Alden, as supervisor of records, has called me into his office to recognize my diligence. I watch the mole in his neck as he talks and talks and talks. At the end of it, I have a promotion. My new position is better paid, and the desk stands by the street window. But if I work directly for Mr. Alden now, Mr. Alden is known to be exacting. We have that boss, guys. But now the biggest problem we have is that he wants us to come by every 57 seconds. If you recall, I could theoretically use this, which is probably what I'm going to do, for 55 seconds, which is going to be only a 2-second margin to be able to get this in without getting fired. Yeah, this is that kind of game. You have to pay a freaking attention to what you're doing. So, let's hit it. 55 to 57. Now, there's a reason I'm doing that, is that I can be paid essentially to advance my own health. But I'll be using one of these vitality already in a moment here. All right, let's go. Okay, read the poetry. Yeah, these moments. The thing is, these moments kind of bring me zen. It's kind of what I'll space out when I'm doing the game. Like I said, it really helps me sleep sometimes. Deflection.
Alright, let's continue. I said goodnight to my wife. So
Left me weak. I need rest and nourishment if I'm to recover. Dream and affliction to transform it back to health. Free. Jobs just to get by. Now notice you have the fatigued health.
I assume that the time event pooped out another loose condition. Yep, took a health.
Nothing wrong with poetry, it just doesn't pay.
Okay. So the loose condition. Yeah. So this, I actually set it as the first random event. But it can also spawn clearly spawn more loose conditions. Yep. So this is spawning more loose conditions. Loose conditions which are magnetic to resources again. Okay. Yeah, this sound. Okay, I get that.
And we don't want to activate the dream thing randomly. This is, after all, Lovecraftian universe. Ooh, here's where things get interesting. Yeah, you can zoom in if you want to read these things. Mr. Alden, as supervisor of records, has called me into his office to recognize my diligence. I watch the mole in his neck as he talks and talks and talks. At the end of it, I have a promotion. My new position is better paid, and the desk stands by the street window. But if I work directly for Mr. Alden now, Mr. Alden is known to be exacting. We have that boss, guys. But now the biggest problem we have is that he wants us to come by every 57 seconds, if you recall.
Okay, I get it. So new job can be improved with new resources. Create better job. Better job. Promotion. Faster. Timed. This is timed. Faster. Timed. Okay. Equal more dollar.
Call.
Okay.
I could theoretically use this, which is probably what I'm going to do, for 55 seconds, which is going to give me only a 2-second margin to be able to get this in without getting fired. Yeah, this is that kind of game. You have to pay a freaking attention to what you're doing. So let's hit it. 55 to 57. Now, there's a reason I'm doing that, is that I can be paid essentially to advance my own health. But I'll be using one of these vitality already in a moment here. All right, let's go. Okay, read the poetry. Yeah, these moments. The thing is, these moments kind of bring me zen. It's kind of where I'll space out when I'm doing the game. Like I said, it really helps me sleep sometimes. Deflection.
This creates a negative card. Here we go. Creates a negative time card. Clearly.
Diseases left me weak. I need rest and nourishment if I'm to recover. Dream and affliction to transform it back to health. Also, to winter. I didn't even know that. You can use I learn things all the time. You can use it as an ingredient, but remember, this is your health you're talking about. If you use it as an ingredient, you burn it off, you know this. But hint, recover. You can either use medicines, which cost money, and we don't have a shit ton of that, or vitality, which is basically health. Basically, even keeping in shape by doing that.
This. What does it cost again? What does it cost? Really tired already. Disease has me left weak. I need rest and nourishment if I am to recover. What happens if I don't? Probably minus health, right? Just something just kills over health. So we can solve in a positive, in a bad manner. This can also be done. Come here to. It can be solved. Or can also not be solved. Oh shit. This can also be solved. Into a positive card. Or this can be fucking problem. Like feeding into. Nope. Actually feeding into. Right. Solved by action combination. Action 2 combination with resource. I think resource is the wrong name. I think the only resource is really, they're all resources, but they're also stats. Resources and stats are kind of the same thing. In this game, resources are also stats. Just keep it like that.
Dream and affliction to transform it back to health. Also, 2 things done just so. And if Mr. Alden never believed that I would qualify his position, you motherfucker, you hired me, asshole. Aspect, annoyance. Here's a thorn in my side. I'm yet to find a way to remove it. There are multiple ways to get rid of Mr. Alden. One of them is to literally wait until he retires, but oh my god, does that take forever. And there are other ways when we have those options. We'll get there in a bit. All right, so working.
So this is also creating a new story beat. Creates a story. Creates story beat. Also, you can have multiple of those. And then all of these different actions can create actually promotions and story beats.
Will work for Mr. Alden for now because, like the real world, we can't kill our boss. Or can we?
Probably kill our boss.
More poetry. All right, put the vitality into place. Put the glimmering into place here. Now, glimmering, one more.
My emotions run high so that glimmering can be used to study in game. It's like I really didn't read any of those when I had the first playthrough. I liked the way the cards clicked and the words put into place. It was really good shit. Reason and last. It's 12:15. Should probably go to bed. My emotions run higher than usual. There are things I'll never understand, and those things will always be precious, but just now I am closer to them. Glimmering can be used with study to gain passion. It lasts only 3 minutes.
Moth influence. My emotions run higher than usual. There are always things I'll never understand, and those things will always be precious, but just now I am closer to them. Glimmering.
Okay, so basically, this is resource increase and action. It's not automatic. They're all timed. None of them are automatic. They just in the beginning are. First time auto. Yep. Let me have a think about this. Dream. What gave me glimmering? Dreaming gave me glimmering, right? Dreaming gave me the puzzle, please. I think. Correct?
Way to remove it. There are multiple. Oh my. Real world, we out. Working. Will work for Mr. Alden for now because, like the real world, we can't kill our boss. Or can we? More poetry. All right, put the vitality into place. Put the glimmering into place here. Now, all right.
Wait, I didn't pay attention.
Because, like the real world, we can't kill our boss.
Yes.
Or can we?
I received glimmering. Okay, so there's one really important point about this. I'll just put it in here. Not everything is certain. Results of actions are a percentage can be vary from case to case. This is really important. Because not always, I assumed it just didn't always give you glimmer. Really need to see how that feels when we actually create something like that. All right. All right. So here we go. Let's continue.
More poetry. All right, put the vitality into place. Put the glimmering into place here. Now, glimmering, one moth influence. My emotion can be used to study degree and passion, but influences are like, you notice the influence I picked up from the despair just zip past. You know what I mean? Because essentially, there are opportunities, but you don't have to take opportunities. If you try to use everything you're given in this game, you go mad. So the important in the real world. So the important thing is prioritize what you want and make the game work for you. It's kind of a metaphor for life that way. In fact, this is the best analogy to actually being an occultist in the real world, trying to manage both the real job and when we actually get to it, the metaphysics. But right now, we're just mastering the material world. Always have a sound foundation. To reason. As otherwise, you're just starving to death in the gutter and dreaming.
So what did you just say? So you have your goal and you have your day job. And you do get the feeling, it creates the feeling that you would actually get when you do that, because you are constantly doing two things, right? So you're trying to keep up with your job, trying to keep up with your health, but also trying to do like building a cult, which is a lot of things to manage, and that game gives you that feeling. That is a really big point. Point one. Point two. The fuck? Point one. It gives stresses you like the real world would manage job, health, physical health, physical plus mental. I think this can be done, like recreated really well. Actually excited for it. Mental health. Health plus side hustle. Mm-hmm. These 2 points are really it. Okay.
That's just not good for you. All right, so dream will get done first. You notice that we're healing from the affliction, and boom, turns back into another health. So we have our health back, and like I said, you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Notice, however, we had something go by we didn't even notice. That's going to happen a lot. Get a fleeting assurance. I should have opened it up, but I'll have plenty of opportunity. That's a fascination trap. If you generate fascination, which is essentially you getting so obsessed with your studies that you start losing your mind, you can go crazy. Again, Lovecraftian. Basically, you burn out your sanity. Now, here we are. Let's see if he does it this time.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? So this was... What do you want to call that? did he?
Healing from the affliction, and boom. Turns back into another health. So we have our health back, and like I said, you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Notice, however, we had something go by we didn't even notice. That's going to happen a lot. Get a fleeting assurance. I should have opened it up, but I'll have plenty of opportunity. That's a fascination trap. If you generate fascination, which essentially is you getting so obsessed with your studies that you start losing your mind, you can go crazy. Again, Lovecraftian. Basically, you burn out your sanity. Now, here we are. Let's see if he does it this time. Okay. Notice something here. Work overtime at Mr. Alden's assistance. I do not believe that you have properly understood the importance of our work here. You are
Okay. So action 2 cost. Is that a negative card? I don't even know what the fuck is
task
that.
will
The fuck? What the fuck is that? Fleeting. What did it make? What the fuck did it create?
into another health. So we have our health back, and like I said, you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
So what did you just
Notice,
create?
however, we had something go by we didn't even notice. That's going to happen a lot. Get a fleeting assurance. I should have
Fleeting assurance. Cultist simulator. Fleeting assurance. Fleeting assurance. I understand where it came from, but what does it do? Is a decaying card that used to counteract fascination and dissipate a trembling in the air action in the duration of. So is it a positive card or a negative card? Clear, dreamed, right? No, obtaining, I understand. Oh, there's different ways of obtaining it actually. Interesting. Remove the fascination. Okay, so too much. This is what I understand now. I'm a little tired of it. This is what I understand now. Too much action 3 causes lose condition. Right? Fascination. Fascination is right? It's an ill health card, yeah. When trembling in the air. Actually, it didn't create a loose condition. It created a fucking anti-loose condition. Interesting. Spawned an event. Right. So this thing spawned an event. I just don't know if what's the fascination trap? 1 second. It's the fascination trap. Nation trap. Uh, It's also on Nintendo. Interesting. What I just saw it called, he's called it a fascination trap or something like that. What was that event? Cultist Simulator. I think it's called Possible Verbs. Okay. Actions. Ha! Great, love that. There's others. Okay. So we have permanent actions. There's also permanent actions, but there was something else. Just what the fuck is the one with the face? Temporary actions. What's this? Season of interludes. What? Tries and interludes. This is not the one. What was this? No. No, no. No, no. No, no. Why is this so difficult? Why can't I not just find what I need? Okay. So now I need to look for fleeting interludes. Oh, whatever the fuck it was, fleeting. I thought it was called Fascination Trap. Fleeting reminiscence. So we got this fleeting reminiscence. Where do I get it from? Trembling in the air action. Is that the one? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Actions. Hmm. Colors. No. Where is it? Automatically assumes. This will not grab a fleeting reminiscence. Yeah. Your beloved comes to meet you. Okay, let's find the fleeting reminiscence again. So how do you get it again? Clear breakthrough action. What? Bleak thought action. Nope. Trembling in the air action. Nope. The fuck is this? Nope. Nope. I love how am I missing something? Am I looking at the wrong thing?
Could have opened it up, but I'll have plenty of opportunity. That's a fascination trap. If you generate fascination, which essentially is you getting so obsessed with your studies that you start losing your mind, you can go crazy. Again, Lovecraftian. Basically, you burn out your sanity. Now, here we are. Let's see if he does it this time. Early. Now, read sentimental literature. You have no choice but to withhold a portion of your pay. You may go, but be punctual tomorrow. You notice we gained exactly 1 fee from that, despite taking 90 seconds. So there's literally no reason not to throw in the extra reason. Didn't realize I was going to do that. More passion. Aspect, imagination. And there
I
we
just kind of
go.
want to skip forward to see what It spawned just another loose condition just right now. Just spawns more loose conditions. This is the police one. Loose condition. Police. Magnet. Negative. Card. Active card. Stages. Okay.
The wrong kind of attention. The city is rife with journalists.
Whatever.
Sometimes I do play a path reputation. Easiest one for me, right?
It's the fleeting
kind of-
reminiscence. Okay, so the fleeting reminiscence, did you just make it disappear?
Wheel. Notice our funds are starting to go up because mystical desires and
It just fucking died. This fucking thing just died. I really want to know what this is. This. I really wanted to know what this is. Simulator. All icons. Can we just have the icons by... Can I just sort them? These are the aspect images. It's not necessarily what I need. Can I have the images of... Let's go images. Action images. Okay. Look, these are the action images. There's... The other one is something else. I'll find it. I'm not letting it go right now. None of those. Definitely none of those. Definitely none of those. Definitely none of those. None of those. Fine. Let's go for all of them. I'm not letting this go now. And if I don't find it there, I'll be pissed. Here we go. No, we're looking for the mask, which is split in half. This one. This is what we're looking for. This comes from something, but it's not telling me what it's coming from. Because it says obtaining clear Blake fraud action, which it isn't. Which it isn't, which it isn't, which it isn't, none of those. I've been through all of those. Nope. It's just not what it is. Small chance of obtaining when dreaming of health. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know what the guy told me about the thingy. I'm just gonna go for it now. No. It's like a mask like this. No. No. It's like this, like a mask which goes sideways. Like this, just sideways. It's not an aspect though, so I know for a fact it's not an aspect. It's like this. Here we go to the books. Definitely not a fucking book. Card images. Maybe it's that. Actually, I've looked at card images. It's like half one. Getting closer to it. No. No. Man, I'm just gonna waste. I just wasted in fucking time. So much time is wasted because. Okay. I actually don't care anymore. I'm gonna give up. People. The fuck. This. Is. Okay, whatever. Just what it is now. It created something which gave me a anti-lose condition for whatever reason. Just continue.
Other ways when we have those options. We'll get there in a bit. To get world. Notice now. Read sentimental literature again, 2 glimmering, and boom. The fires of are still. We cannot have that option right now because I'm speeding up. We cannot go back and do the laboring job, which means basically I have to do this again. Okay, we're going to work, but this time it randomly shows up, by the way. Most times he will demand extra work from you, but not always. There's the fascination trap.
Oh my god, it's a trembling in the air. It's a trembling in the air. What happens if I fucking type in trembling? Oh, so much time was wasted. Trembling in the air. Look what it shows. It doesn't give the same icon. How we were meant to find that? It doesn't have the same icon. Here it is. Like I would have never guessed that. Fuck. Whatever. Pissed about this now. Trembling in the air.
A trembling in the air. The sun flickers like a shadow. Dreams a ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Fascinations will produce visions. Visions produce madness. It's kind of the opposite of dread. You get too excited. Kind of a hypermania. Feed my imagination. There are more windows in my soul, but sunlight is not the thing that passes through those. So essentially you die of poverty. So the thing is now, at this point in the game, is that when we get to start upgrading from the first level of these things. So in order to do that, we're going to have to do a lot of studying. Now, I'm not going to put you through this. I'm going to do this exactly once, and I'm going to do it with passion, simply because that's the one that's going to be essentially at low level, unused for the beginning, because of the way I'm going. We continue to this whole read essential until we get more glimmering. In the meantime, we've got to do, the problem with this game is sometimes you can grind for quite a bit. It's got to be the sort of game that you're into, and I am, simply because I've loved the story. Now, again, he's done the whole thing, but this work is complete when I assess the work is complete, and not before. I trust we understand each other. So, basically, you now spend unpaid overtime work. Now, it's not technically unpaid because he's withholding 25. You're holding half of your wages if you don't do this. That is paycheck theft, which is still happening in the fucking real world, mind you. It's still legal, by the way, United States. But notice I'm about to lose that vitality because I haven't had a chance to use it yet. Now, if I pace this back to normal speed, you'll notice we have yet another fleeting remedy. We're going to burn through a lot of these. And there we go. The wrong kind of attention. The city is rife with journalists and detectives and other meddlers. How long will they leave? Arrival of doing, your character. That's my usual. You can get through the entire game and really only do a few questionable things. Yes, you're worshipping the dark power.
So basically, somehow, it's confusing yet, but somehow there is a loose condition. Unknown loose condition. Madness. This is how I'm gonna live with this now. This is to counteract this. Let's make it green.
Powers of chaos and madness, and trying to attune yourself to powers beyond human comprehension that will drive merely their presence will drive you mad, but you don't have to be a jerk about it. Alright, you'll notice that it's curious few, the wrong type of reputation. Now they're looking for clues. Because we haven't done anything bad, we don't have any clues. Nobody cares about us. We're some anonymous clerk working for Grover and Grover. And you gotta keep burning this. Go. That has absolutely no attention. Now, you'll notice that this time, Alden says, on this occasion I've determined that your work of an acceptable standard. You may go, but be punctual. You'll notice we have 2 funds. Funds are still staying at 10, by the way. If you notice, we're...
So, create story beat. Sometimes boss happy. Sometimes not. Needs combination cards. This is basically just so I understand how it works. It's primarily for myself. There's no way of. This is so shit. Whatever.
We're barely treading water, and that's gonna be a consistent thing. Now, if we stay at normal speed, I can do this, and I can get the vitality going, but I don't want to do that right now. Basically, study is a bottleneck. You are going to be using study to upgrade everything from your health, your passion, your reason, to lore, to influences. It's insane the amount of work study does not happen with work, because, like I said before, yeah, you have towards the mystical. You're one of those people who's alternating the the wrong type of reputation. Now they're looking at me right now. Afterwards, I'll probably go back to health by alternating the Glover work with Glover and the physique, because the more you upgrade this, the less time it takes you to complete a job. And that doesn't really work that way in the real world, mind you, but we're doing fantasy. So at the moment, we're gonna be burning through reason like crazy dealing with this guy. Again, there's ways to deal with him. I may or may not do it. I mean, there's quite a good chance that by the time I get to the position where I am able to do something to him, he's going to already retire or drop dead.
Can retire. So this basically will create an evolution into basically a meaningful decision. So create a meaningful decision, which then can create basically 2 paths, maybe. I just understood it like the way it is right now. It's just the way I sort of the way I just understood it was that basically, oh, this is so shit. Yeah, so the way I understood it was, why don't I make it just a line? Why does it have to be fucking? Here we go. right? Kill boss. Or wait for retirement of boss. That will give you 2 outcomes.
Old age, I guess. Notice. Curious view. My name now is clear. The guardians are in the shadows. Again, more contentment. Ah, and there's that glimmering I forgot to pick up. And contentment's good to have around just in case you need it, but it lasts so little.
Where did it come?
No, it doesn't really work that way in the real world, mind you, but we're doing...
Okay. So... where's the police one? It can give you... anti-loose condition card. So clearing it can give you this card. Yeah, so clearing it positively it can give you this card.
We're doing fantasy. So, at the moment, we're going to be burning through the reason like crazy dealing with this guy. Again, there's ways to deal with him. I may or may not do it. I mean, there's quite a good chance that by the time I get to the position where I am, by getting, drunk, just high, stoned, I don't know. And boom. This time around, nobody noticed anything. Glimmering. We have 2 glimmering, which means we immediately start studying them. We're going to upgrade the root passion again. There's reason, but they're wanting... You notice how quick you get at catching these cycles. Again, I usually do it at...
Look how we are just working overtime and we're just surviving right in the beginning without actually getting to any of the cultist part. Right? I just want to take this away from everyone. This is the most important thing. Like how much is fucking happening without us actually doing any cultist shit? It's ludicrous.
normal pace because I'm doing this. It's kind of a zen, a meditation kind of thing. But since you guys probably want something less, but boom, another 2 funds. And we're going to keep driving this wheel. Notice our funds are starting to go up because I'm concentrating only on making money. Yes, I'm currently selling out. I have these mystical desires, and there we are. Exotic cravings. This is what's going to drive you crazy and win you the game. Exotic cravings are the desires that you have you have towards the mystical. You're one of those people who's been drawn into the mystical, and either you will master that ability and become a magus, you will bury your imagination in mundane work, or get married. There's another option, another DLC type of mission. We'll get into those eventually if you guys like this. Or it will drive you mad to despair. Guys, it's looking for a card, by the way. That's what the magnet means. It's trying to pull in a card like this pulls in the funds. You have no control over that. And oh, what's this? Glimmer? A lesson learned. I'm ready to improve. Use this imagination skill to improve your skill and passion. It lasts up to 5 minutes before it declays back into a glimmering. Now, what does that mean? It means we need 2 of those. By the way, that indicator means that whatever you put in there will be consumed. 2 of those plus that skill to increase the next skill. So what we're going to do, we're going to just grind. You're going to get used to a lot of that if you're going to play in that game. But restlessness, our old friend, that will turn back into despair, which will cost me a fun to get rid of. There is a way to get rid of it, but we are not in the position to do so now. Remember, if I paint, I'm going to use the same thing as working. Now, if I don't work at Glover's for 60 seconds, I'll be demoted. And is that what I want? Do I want to just blow the fund? And I am going to do that. You have to make decisions about which price do you want. Do you want to spend the time to try to beg for your job back using passion, because that's an option? Or do you want... I'm pointing at the screen. Why am I pointing at the screen? Or you can you burn 1 fund to the restlessness. Right now we have 10 funds, so I'm going to choose that funding, keeping our supply of funds is more important than trying to burn off the restlessness. Always have a plan. Always weigh your options.
Burn off the restlessness?
Almost 40 minutes. I don't know how many of you are still here, but again, I can tell just because it's opened up that he's done the same thing. Like I said, he doesn't do it every time. Keep going. Alright, so you'll notice, by the way, all the bad things happen. Oh my god, 2 despair. You sons of bitches. This is going to get painful. Do you see, every time this game resets, bad things can happen. Occasionally a good thing happens, but 9 times out of 10 a bad thing happens. And sometimes more than 1 bad thing happens. Again, we're back to the glimmering. Burn the passion. One of the good things about study, by the way, is it does not exhaust whatever you're using. I don't have to wait for passion to recover. 2 more funds back. Okay, so, boom, we're in here. Back to work. Okay, so, yeah, now we've got 2. 3 dread can kill me, so we need to get rid of the dread before that counter comes up. That's one of the things that pops, by the way. If you see this grail indicator, it means you're about to get a free glimmering from whatever you did, essentially getting stoned out of your mind. But we have contentment. Why is that important? Because you can take dread, you can add contentment, clear your head. Boom, it's gone. We'll have to do it again when we get to this point.
Okay. Okay, this was a lot. But this was our condition, this contentment thing, right? And you can also use it against negative cards. Alright, let's do this. Negative cards have multiple ways of removing them. Dread, i.e. dread, okay? So this can also solve this, and I can do that via, I can solve this if I use action to use. To use. We'll get rid of that. Okay. Also random positive events like dream gives glimmer. Hey baby, what's up?
And there's the free glimmering. Notice it has a bit of a cooldown before it becomes active. I'm not exactly sure why they do it for game mechanics, but they do. But it basically means that this glimmering is probably going to go to waste. Despair, bleak thoughts. Now here's a problem. I have the option of trying to get rid of that restlessness before it absorbs the bleak thoughts does. Now, again, that costs me the job, or I can use another funds. I'm probably going to use another funds because 2 funds is easier to get than my job back. And boom. Another glimmering. Now, the thing is, we already have these 2 glimmerings, what we need to get the second glimmering lesson learned. Yes, you're going to be learn real fast. Improve. This whole game could be called self-improvement. Because that's essentially all the whole point of the game is you're evolving your character, evolving your intellect, your passion, your health, your knowledge, even your alliances and friendships as time goes on, to become the greater person. Go back to work. Dread is absorbed up. We have 1 dread in the counter, but we have that, and we need. Notice that when we burn off each other, they become a fleeting remiss. We go get high again. Yeah, we're a hard worker and we're a hard player. Basically, every weekend we're getting drunk and laid. Sigh. Alright, now we have this. This is fun. You have both these fascination and that, but the funny part is fascination actually will consume dread. It's bizarre. Sometimes I've played it, so I've specifically got dread so I can get rid of the fascination. Yes.
Okay, so this can be created with money in action 2.
You were playing with your sanity. Just try to get things done. Boom. There it absorbs. That will cancel that out. And we take a breath. Put the reason back. Stack the reason back together. Now we have glimmering, a lesson learned. Boom. 2 of these. Get the next level. Alden wants the TOP.
This is actually important. Because this is the resource grind action can used improve positive cards. Okay.
Key report. I don't know. Kind of an the Office movie reference. Office Space, that was it. I like that film. I go back to see it every now and then. And again, that's going to get repetitive, but notice that our funds are slowly building up. We're going to need that. Turns out practicing the occult is very expensive. Rich man's game. Alright. Fascination produces fleeting, which, by the way, will also cancel out fascination. There goes our money, damn you all, and fleeting resemblance. Now, like I said, the beginning part of the game isn't sexy. It's literally increasing your character's strength to the point where he becomes able to resist the problems that result later. If you try to jump into doing the occult before you have a strong mind, soul, body, it'll rip you to pieces. So...
Get it. This was the most important part. So, we can call this now the so-called, let's make this way bigger, how do I make it bigger? Okay, gonna call this the stats / resource development arc. The goal of this arc is to make yourself be able to resist whatever the fuck's gonna happen to you. Right? That's the way I understood it. Yes. So this is sort of the yes. So this is the stats resource development arc. All right. I think we got very good progress here in terms of designing. I think we took out a lot of things. I'm gonna go to sleep and then digest all of that, and then I'll think about the rest of it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace.